that case. Peterson's attorney's name is Rusty Hardin. If you recognize that name, it may be because he was also the attorney for Roger Clemens. The Vikings, surely unaware of the position this statement would put them in, made the damning admission that they knew about this previous case. As part of the information we have gathered throughout this process, we were made aware of an allegation from 2013 in which authorities took no action against Adrian. We will defer any further questions to Adrian's attorney, Rusty Hardin, meaning that even though they knew there were past allegations, that the case for which Peterson was indicted was not some sort of standalone one-time issue that came out of left field, they had General Manager Rick Spielman still say this.
I understand this is a very difficult thing to handle, but we feel strongly as an organization that this is disciplining in a child.
It is Vikings management that is strongly implying that this is not a guess on their part, that they researched this tirelessly. Again, from yesterday's news conference.
Over the weekend and early this morning, we gathered as much information as we possibly could. We did not have all the information on Friday. It's different. We have a lot more information today. It has to do with the information that we have gathered. Based on the extensive information that we have right now, we did a very, as extensive as we could, try to gather as much information.
So, the Vikings spent nearly 3 full days investigating Adrian Peterson and child abuse. They knew of it. Since when? The first incident we know of, took place 15 months ago. Did the Vikings inform the league? Did the league know? The NFL boasts often of the indefatigability of NFL security. Each team has its own investigators, too. You can't wear a sock with the wrong logo in this league without the fire alarm going off in Roger Goodell's office. Did the Vikings general manager Rick Spielman know about it? Did Ziggy and Mark Wilf, the owners, know about it? How long have they known about it? Why did they keep it from the public? Why did they cover it up? Why, even if the fact that there were no charges in June 2013 meant Peterson had a right to privacy in the first case because it was just an allegation, why did the Vikings not realize that that right to privacy evaporates the moment an actual indictment has been returned against Peterson on the exact same charges? And just as importantly, why have the Vikings suddenly washed their hands of an investigation they claim to now know so much about?
We must defer to the legal system to determine whether he went too far, but we cannot make that judgment.
We told you yesterday that this is a new strategy from that team. In October 2011, Vikings defensive back Chris Cook was charged with domestic violence. For Chris Cook, the Vikings did not defer to the legal system. They suspended him immediately, then restored his salary, but kept him off the field for the remaining 10 games of that season. But as the website Deadspin points out, in May 2012, Vikings running back Caleb King was arrested on suspicion of third-degree assault. For Caleb King, the Vikings did not defer to the legal system. They fired him. In November 2013, Vikings cornerback A.J. Jefferson was arrested for alleged domestic assault. For A.J. Jefferson, the Vikings did not defer to the legal system. They fired him. And in January of this year, Vikings linebacker Aaron Henderson was arrested for DUI. For Aaron Henderson, the Vikings did not defer to the legal system. They fired him. In light of the second allegations, in light of the team's own history, Adrian Peterson cannot play for the Vikings Sunday in New Orleans. Whether the NFL steps in, whether it's Radisson, Bud, Nike, Milan, and whichever sponsors are smart enough to join them stepping in, whether it's us boycotting Delta and Verizon and Miller Coors and Pepsi until they do step in, whether the Vikings owners realize that their personal credibility and that of their franchise is hanging by a thread and they reverse their position again, whether concerned parents lock arms outside the Superdome and keep the Minnesota team bus out. This travesty of justice, this blind eye being turned to a man who bloodied at least 2 of his own children, a blind eye turned because he's a